men. Why are women so obsessed with these types of shows, serial killers, even bad boys, toxic relationships? What is it about these types of naughty things that women are so obsessed about?
Do you know, I think firstly, we're more fascinated by human nature. We're genuinely more fascinated in people than things.
Mm-hmm.
So men can watch a whole show about making a car. And for us, we like to see connections and we like to see relationships and we like to see people. That's why reality shows are so much more, it got such a bigger female market. So we're more interested in human nature as a whole. The other thing is we're naturally more adept at handling and experiencing negative emotion. We experience negative emotion all the time. Women, especially towards the hormonal periods and so on and so forth, negative emotion like neurotic and anxiety and this type of things, it's just part of how being a woman, it's so ingrained in us. Whereas for men, they don't get that, they don't experience it. And why would they induce negative energy into their soul? They just can't understand why you would watch something so negative and so gruesome. For us, we experience it all the time anyway, so we might as well learn something in the process. So I do think we have a better curiosity for human nature. We like to see connections and things and then see how it turns, and generally we're better with the negative emotion. We handle it more than men can.
And nice guys out there, what is it about nice guys that women are just so not into?
Do you know what the problem is? It's how we define nice guys. Now, a lot of guys who lack masculine energy, who don't have any masculinity, lean towards being nice because they don't have masculine energy. And so they say, I'm a nice guy and I get no girls. But really what women want is a masculine man who has the opportunity to be bad, has the ability to be bad, but chooses to be kind and chooses to do the right thing. We don't want it to be a default. So if I meet a guy who plays video games all day, is really not taking care of himself, watches a lot of porn, doesn't cheat, doesn't do anything wrong, and is nice to everybody, he's nice out of default. He doesn't have options in his life to be difficult. He doesn't have women that he can be abusive to or negative to. He doesn't have that option. And so him being nice is due to the lack of alternatives. Whereas if I meet a man who is successful and attractive and has all of those traits, but then chooses to do the right thing, that is far more attractive. And even if he chooses to do the wrong thing, that's still more attractive than the guy who's nice out of default. So that's what it is. Do you have masculine energy? Because the lack of masculine energy can't be the reason why you're nice. It has to be a choice, and you have to have alternatives available to you.
So by default, you should be sort of a badass dude, almost like an asshole, a little rugged, little, not conforming. And then when you meet the right girl, choose to be nice, choose to be sweet, do the nice things for that woman, make her feel special.
Well, just doing that makes them feel special, because like it's like a girl knows like this guy is kind of like, set in his ways. He's a little bit of a sassy guy, but when you see him like behave in like a kind manner to you, you're like, wow, he's able to kind of take that back and like really consider how it would make me feel when you approach me and adjust the way you have that conversation. So 1,000%. I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
But we like a little bad, just a little.
You like a little bad boy.
Yeah, we like the bad, but it's like, just learn how to, when you do talk to a girl, like show that side of like you can be kind. Okay,
but not too kind.
Not too kind.
Guys, welcome back to my Patreon. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to approach women, okay? How, as a man, can you approach women? Now, one of the complaints women always come to me with is that men don't approach me in real life. Men just don't approach me. Men don't actually ask me on dates. And it's a real problem for a lot of girls. They're like, I want to meet somebody, but nobody's really approaching. And even online, they'll just text for hours and message for days and days, but they won't actually ask to meet up. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can approach women in the most effective way. Now, as a man, number one thing that you guys, a lot of men forget, is how important appearance is. We seem to think that it's just important for women to take care of themselves. You will see a drastic difference in how women respond to you as a man when you start working out and when you start dressing well and you get a great haircut. It's really that simple. You will see a drastic difference. I'm talking unbelievable difference. What happens is, because you hear on social media, women will say, I like dad bods, we like dad bods. They're lying to you.
2 more questions for you, and then we're going to do what I would call a speed round here, okay?
Okay.
I've asked many men this questions. I'll ask you as a psychology professor who happens to be a beautiful woman. Are OnlyFans women wifey material?
No. And I would always say, it depends. Lots of people will say, define wife. Wife is defined by loyalty, and exposing your body is not loyalty. And just like I would say that a man, there's lots of things that make men not marriage material, but an OnlyFans girl is definitely a boss. She's definitely making really, really good money a lot of the time, and she's independent. But wife is defined by modesty and loyalty, and a girlfriend is not defined by that, and a part-time girlfriend isn't. So definitely she has those traits, and I'm not saying she would be a bad partner or she would be a bad mother, but wife means long-term monogamous relationship. By exposing yourself on the internet to strangers in exchange for money, you don't have traditional values, and you're definitely not monogamous, because monogamy doesn't involve exposing yourself to strangers. So it's just not. And there's nothing wrong with not being wife material, by the way. You don't have to be wife material. Life isn't about being wife material. But if you're on OnlyFans, you're not. It just is what it is.
Damn. Spoken. Do you disagree, Nat?
No, I wouldn't disagree. I think like there may be like a situational like exception, like Allie, like we had on yesterday.
Who is already married, though.
But she's married. She does OnlyFans, and she does it with her husband, and they agree on it. Wow. I think that's different than like just like a girl single doing it alone, and then she's looking for a husband and trying to be on that same level of the girls who don't.
Now you know. Last question, and then we'll go to the rapid fire round. That's the alcohol speaking. You see that? You see how I slurred my word right there?
Haram.
That doesn't. Haram.
Haram.
I just got harammed all over this thing. One drink. Sloppy. A lot of women, I believe that women, like in America, in the West, age, 18, they go to college, they're out of the house for the first time. And they're doing whatever they want to do. Nobody's telling them what they can and cannot do. Live your best life. All good. Do your thing. Okay. They graduate. They're 22. They're 23, and they venture out into the world, and they enter into what is known as their hoe phase. Okay. They're sleeping around. They're having a great time. Do your thing. By the time that they're late 20s, early 30s, they're saying, okay, all right, hoe phase is up. Time for me to grow up. Do you think a hoe phase is detrimental for a woman, or that every woman should kind of experience, multiple men, kind of pick their flavor, so that once they settle down, they'll know what they're into?
The hoe phase is the most detrimental thing a woman can do to her mental health. It absolutely makes no sense, because what you do in the process is, you drop your standards in the men that you're dating because you see it as a short-term status. And when you drop your standards, that becomes your new level. So without you realizing, every time you meet a guy that doesn't text you back and doesn't call you and doesn't take you on dates, that becomes your new level of expectation. So when you go to settle down, you are literally starting from the bottom up. And also, you cannot escape sexual intercourse without some wounds, because you're human, and each person will teach you something, good or bad. Each person will teach you something. And the more you allow to teach you, the more you're allowed to wound you. And you're taking that baggage into a new relationship, and there's nothing positive from it. Whereas if you meet a woman who's just been with one man who's treated her really well, and then it didn't work out for whatever reasons, her standards are sky high when she goes into the dating pool. She'll be like, I want a guy that does this, that, and the other, and if he doesn't even get to talk to me. But when you meet a woman that's coming out of a hoe phase, all you have to do is text back once in a while, and she's ready to be with you, and it drops your level so much to a level that you can't pick it back up from. So I think it's the worst thing a woman can do for herself.
There's going to be, and there's very what?
very little gain. Like, how great can a one night stand be?
Yeah.
Like, it's just temporary validation. It's not pure pleasure. Pure pleasure comes from long term knowing each other's body. One quick it's very rare that you'll massively enjoy it, and if you did massively enjoy it, you'll turn it into something. So one night stand, I can't understand.
Got it. You know, Sadia, there's going to be a lot of men watching this. They're going to be very upset with your answer. You're ruining some situations out there that they were sort of relying on from these women.
I love it.
No, you don't think so?
No, I said I love it.
Okay. Well, Natalia is a very nice lady, and she would never enter that type of phase.
No.
All right. Here's the list. This is what I want to kind of rapid fire with you with Sadia. I wrote down a bunch of relationships in the news, or famous relationships that people are very aware of. I want to get your take and just give sort of like a quick response, quick answer as to what is happening in these relationships, your take, and just break it down if you would. By the way, okay, gotcha, got the list. Sorry about that. I paused for a second. The first relationship that I want to get your take on. This is what I wanted to ask you. Before I ask you all this, if there's an ideal relationship out there that people know, not like, oh, my aunt, uncle, I love them, like they have a great relationship, they've been married 50 years. Nobody knows your aunt and uncle. Is there an ideal relationship that you can pinpoint and say, oh, that is a perfect marriage, that is a perfect relationship, I would aspire to have a relationship like that? What relationship comes to mind?
It's hard because you don't know what's really going on, but I do like Ryan Reynolds and his wife. I do like the connection they have, but again, I'd always say it's difficult to know because you don't know what's going behind the scenes. But on the surface, if you've got two people that publicly respect each other, publicly don't embarrass each other, and have a family unit, that to me seems like a really impressive goal.
Gotcha. And who is he? He's married to the actress. What's her name again? Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Yeah. That's it.
Gotcha. Interesting. So you went American. You know relationships all over the world, and the number one relationship was Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know why that came to mind. You can tell I've been scrolling on TikTok today, can't you? So definitely, I don't know why that came to mind, but them two came to mind.
Dude's a stud. All right. So the first relationship, this is in the news right now. They're potentially getting divorced. They've hired divorce lawyers. I'm talking, of course, about Tom Brady and his supermodel wife, Gisele Bündchen. And apparently the influencer Jay Shetty, if you're familiar with him, he made a post about respecting somebody's time or their spirit, whatever the post was, and Gisele commented like with a prayer sign, like and almost like in agreement, which was basically an indication that like she wasn't getting what she wanted, she wasn't getting her quality time. So what's your take on the Tom Brady Gisele relationship?
Welcome to my course on masculinity, and in this course not only will I be able to completely transform your understanding of women, but on a more personal level you will enhance your self-esteem, self-respect, and your boundaries. The goal of this course is to take a man that has absolutely fantastic intentions, wants to find love, wants to commit, wants to have a good healthy relationship, but is finding that he's constantly running into women who are narcissistic, who are disrespectful, who are disloyal. Now, if you are finding that continuously, then there must be something in your engagement with women that is causing this. What my course will do is look at where this problem comes from, how to resolve it, how to communicate effectively with men and women, and how to command respect. Most importantly, how to improve your self-respect. And throughout the course, you'll be given interactive sessions, but with course materials to help you channel and journal your learning. So if you are interested in becoming the most masculine version of yourself, join today.